Texas A&M is in crisis mode, and it doesn't look like they have a good direction to go at this time, and we have to talk about it. But before we do that, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments below. Where do you guys think this Texas A&M program can go over the next couple of years? All right. So Texas A&M lost to Appalachian State 17-14 Saturday, struggling completely on offense and defense, only fielding 168 total yards and allowing Appalachian State to field 350. Additionally, if it wasn't for a 95-yard kickoff return, they probably would have lost this game 17-7. So it could have been a lot uglier than it was. And a lot of this is due to the offense not running to what we see a lot of offenses run at in this current college football format. So when we watch Jimbo throughout his tenure at Texas A&M, there is kind of one telling point to what his teams are, right? They're good on defense, and they spit out good defensive players, but they're atrocious on offense, and they can't ever really move the ball with a sense of urgency. And Josh Pate pointed it out really well the other day in one of his videos. Jimbo is running an offense that is expired in 2014, and he's living off the Jameis Winston years. Because let's be real here. Outside of having a Heisman winner in Jameis Winston, and winning a national championship at Florida State, what else does Jimbo have to give you outside of just being a Nick Saban prodigy? He's an average coach. Now, looking at this game specifically, I think there's a lot of underlying issues with the A&M team here. We're going to look at some of those. So the first off is the offensive line is just not good. So I know this video is a little bit behind some other people's, but there's a reason why. Because I wanted to go back and watch this game. And one thing I noticed is the offensive line, they gave up 2 sacks to the Appalachian State defense. And the Appalachian State defense was constantly applying pressure, shrinking the pocket and making Haynes King uncomfortable. Additionally, I don't think Haynes King is the answer at quarterback for Texas A&M. I don't know what you need to do at this point, but I feel like you have to give somebody else like Max Johnson or 5-star quarterback Connor Weigman a shot to maybe help light a fire and spark this team, because you've got a lot of talented 5-star wide receivers and other people on this team, and you need to be able to get them the ball to be able to go make plays. And we say that all the time, especially with Oklahoma, which you guys know is my team. We talk about how they need to get Marvin Mims the ball, or they need to get Theo Weiss the ball, or Farouk, or whoever, right? Because that gets the offense going. It creates a spark, right? And sometimes it's all about just seeing the end zone. There was an interesting statistic that I heard, and it's, did you know that Texas A&M has only been in the red zone once this season? They've only been in there once this season. And I think being able to spark something in your offense would maybe allow you to create more of those red zone opportunities and definitely be able to give you more opportunities to go out there and score. So what is next for the Aggies, right? I think that's the big question. What's next? How can they salvage their season and move forward from here? Because we're not overreacting here after watching week 1. Even though they went and won 31-0 against Sam Houston State, they still struggled to get something going on the offensive side of the ball. And for a while, it actually kind of looked like Sam Houston State might do something, and then the defense would, like, last second pick it up so that Sam Houston State couldn't go down there and score or get into a scoring position. You still have to play Miami and Arkansas at home next, in that order. Now, Arkansas is a neutral site game in Arlington, but I expect Razorback fans to show up in that game like a home game for Arkansas. Woo pig suey. They're probably going to show up, and they're probably going to be loud. I think if you're Texas A&M, you probably lose both of those games, especially to Miami, who has a quarterback that is probably going to be taken in the first round. And Miami's starting to get hot with Mario Cristobal at the helm. And Arkansas is one of the top 3 teams in the SEC. And so Texas A&M has showed me nothing that they can go in there and be competitive and win those games. You likely beat Mississippi State on the road, but you're probably going to get pummeled by Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide, especially with all the offseason drama and what you did to them last year. At South Carolina is one of those toss-up games that I have, but I'm not convinced you're going to be able to go beat Ole Miss or Florida at home. And I say at South Carolina is a toss-up because at least South Carolina can move the ball on offense. They don't have a good offensive line, but at least they can move the ball. And we've seen that this Texas A&M defense this year, even as talented as they are, they're still going to allow subpar offenses to move the ball on them. Your final 3 games, you should be able to at least go 2-3 in those games. You're ending at Auburn, UMass, and LSU at home. I will let you figure out which one of those games they should win. I'm not going to go out there and call those games just yet, but I'll let you figure them out. Right now, I think the best that Aggie fans are looking at the end of the season is an 8 or 9 win season, but you potentially could be looking at 4 to 5 wins as your floor. And that's definitely not the season that Texas A&M fans envisioned. And this is definitely not what Jimbo Fisher and this, athletic department over at Texas A&M envisioned as either. They want to go into the SEC and they want to be competitive. They want to be relevant. You might have the relevant part for now, but I don't think you're as competitive. And the other underlying question here is, how many of these 2023 or 2022 recruits are they going to be able to keep? They are not going to want to stay on the potential that you might get better. Jimbo Fisher needs to hire an offensive coordinator. I think that's pretty much a given at this point. He needs to be able to hire somebody that's competent and able to call effective plays to be able to move the ball, control the game, and control the tempo. You need to be able to control the direction of the game. Scott Frost is available. He needs to help resurrect his career. Bring him to College Station. He just got paid $15 million. You could bring him on a super cheap contract. Let him revitalize his career. Let him help you out. Bring him there. You might have to fight Alabama for him. But Texas A&M has showed that they got money. So you don't need to be just dishing out the money outside of, just players. Like, you need to do it outside of just the players. All right, so there's been a lot of comparisons between Jimbo and Kevin Sumlin. And I kind of want to talk about those for a second. Because unfortunately, you can't buy out Jimbo Fisher. His buyout's going to be too large. He has too much owed left to him. And you don't want to have another Kevin Sumlin situation. And here's what I mean by that. In the first 50 games, Jimbo is 135, Kevin Sumlin's 136. Jimbo has 7 ranked wins, Sumlin has 9. Jimbo has 0 ranked road wins, Sumlin has 5. Jimbo lost to a G5 school and Sumlin didn't. The only thing that, I say this, people are going to say, well, Jimbo beat Bama. But Saban considered that a down and rebuilding year for Alabama. And Sumlin went and beat Alabama on the road, and it was a pretty good Bama team. And the only thing that Jimbo has over Sumlin in 5 years is 2 top 5 classes, 1 being the best of all time, and 4 of those being in the top 10. Now, Sumlin only had 2 in the top 10. So that's really the only thing Jimbo's got over Texas A&M. So with all of that being said, and you heard me say at the beginning, Jimbo is an average coach. And right now, the Aggies are average. And where Texas A&M goes from here is all in Jimbo's hands. And Aggie fans are looking at you, Jimbo. They're looking at you. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. And if you intake your podcasts on Apple, Spotify, or Google, please leave a review and give it 5 stars.